seeking shelter now, because this tornado is going to be at your location within 10 minutes. This is going to be crossing I-10. It's going to be heading up toward there within about 10 to 15 minutes down the road. So Douglas Crossroads, you've run out of time. If you're on McLeod Road, the tornado is passing over you right now. We'll zoom a little bit further out and go back. So where we were warning before, Uchiana and G. Montgomery Road, those areas the tornado has now passed you. Sherwood Road and Red Hill Road, the tornado now has passed you. That storm has now passed. If you're on the west side of this warning, if you're in Defuniak Springs, if you're in Argyle, if you're on the east side of Argyle, got to be seeking shelter. If you're on the west side toward Defuniak Springs on State Highway 10, old State Highway 10 here, then you're okay. On the west side of this warning, the tornado is on the far eastern side of this warning. Even if this does take a deviant path, this will be closer up into Washington County as opposed to moving into Holmes County as opposed to moving into Washington County. Again, North Highway 81. So tornado now getting ready to cross over I-10. Thankfully, this is weaker, so we're seeing a broadening of this rotation. That is excellent news. You're not seeing the extreme showing up here more, but still strong rotation evidence. So we may have seen this tornado lift, or it might be lifting as we speak. So that would be excellent news, especially for Ponce de Leon as this moves up and across I-10. Again, staying in shelter, but thankfully seeing a weaker signature here. Confirmed tornadoes still ongoing. Still looks strong enough that a tornado could be happening. I'm going to go to CC, and you're going to see this really has broadened out on the CC. And the reason for that is not because a tornado isn't imminently occurring or occurring right now. The broadening just means that the debris has been lifted. It's now being ingested into that updraft that is causing the debris or is causing the tornado, and it's spreading out. So we get this signature that looks weaker or broader. It looks like a bigger tornado. It's not. It's just that debris that got picked up when the tornado was stronger now starting to spread out, and that gives us this signature. This is actually showing a broadening of that winds as well, so that's good news. But again, tornado could be happening, possibly still ongoing, crossing I-10 and then getting ready to cross up into Washington County. This will be on the west side of Ponce de Leon, Main Street, North Highway 81, County Road 10A, and then Baker Morning Loop. This is going to go right over the top of Baker Morning Loop. If you're in that area, you got to be in your shelter. Again, lowest level of your home, most interior room. If you're afraid to step away from the TV, you can download the Storm Track 13 app. You can watch us live from that app as well. Again, tornado warning for Walton County, getting ready to cross over into Washington County. If you're in Defuniak Springs, this is well off to your east. Rotation starting to tighten back up here. So seeing this tightening once again now that it has crossed I-10. Not super strong. We're not seeing the blues anymore, but still seeing a tighter rotation. The reason for that, you can see that couplet still happening. So probably a tornado ongoing, crossing I-10 at the moment. This will be headed on the west side of Main Street, on the west side of Ponce de Leon, going over Baker Morning Loop within about 5 minutes or so, and then heading up toward North State Highway 81 in about 10 minutes. If you're on Grant Road or you're on North State Highway 81 around Grant Road, you should be seeking shelter. Lowest level of your home, most interior room, as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Take with you some shoes as well as a blanket or pillow to cover your head. The reason you want some shoes on, if whatever reason your home is destroyed, you want to be able to walk out over debris. So you want to have shoes on. You want to be able to have something to protect yourself if that debris is flying over the top of you as well. Blankets, pillows, make yourself comfortable in that safe location. Wait this storm out as we have a confirmed tornado about 10 minutes ago. Not sure that this is still on the ground at this point in time, but potentially could be. You can still see that debris from what was picked up from that tornado that was happening earlier has now broadened out. It's not looking like as strong of a signature. So if there's a tornado on the ground here, it's a weaker one than what was occurring earlier, but still potentially a tornado crossing I-10. You can see two little defined areas that are cupped there. So that couplet, again, could still be a tornado. Maybe it has lifted and all we're getting is that rotation in the sky, and we're not actually seeing the funnel all the way to the ground. That potentially could be the case here, but strong enough rotation to signify that a tornado could be happening at this moment in time, crossing I-10. And again, if you're on the west side of Ponce de Leon, North State Highway 81, now you can see that is now crossing toward Baker Morning Loop. So again, this has broadened out once again, but still a couplet right there. I'm going to circle it here for you so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the couplet right there. That is areas that's wind away from the radar. That is winds toward the radar. So this is rotation happening, and it's moving basically in that direction. So if you're going across Baker Morning Loop, County Road 10A, and then going up toward North State Highway 81, Ammons Road, Grant Road, all of those locations got to be seeking shelter now. Old Mill Road, you're running out of time, and then Red Road, Oak Grove, Church Road, North State Highway 81, and Mitchell Road that is crossing between that. Mitchell Road turning into Oak Grove Church Road. All of those locations, if you're in and around those locations, should be seeking shelter. Again, Browns Crossing, as well as going up toward, I think that was Hickory Hill that populated there, up toward Hickory Hill, North State Highway, Corneth Road, Minger Road, I think that's how you say that, Sandy Creek Road, and Line Road, all should be paying attention or seeking shelter. While this is a much broader area of rotation than the confirmed tornado we had about 10 minutes ago, it still could tighten back up and produce another tornado. So watching this very, very closely as this continues to work up. Going to storm relative velocity, all we're doing is taking away the storm motion here, give it a better definition of where that rotation is happening. But once again, you can see this. It's again a relatively broad rotation at this point in time. This is crossing Baker Morning Loop. This is going to be on the west side of Ponce de Leon. Probably going to stay on the west side of Bayou Crossing as well, potentially heading up toward Bounds Crossing. Again, dangerous thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Certainly did have a tornado on the ground about 10 to 15 minutes ago toward Uchiana, and then crossing G. McLeod Road, Montgomery Road, Douglas Crossroads, now crossed I-10 and now over Baker Morning Loop on the west and southwest side of Ponce de Leon, headed up toward Bayou Crossing. So again, next update here, zooming in, again, broadening of this rotation. So that's good news. Doesn't look as tight, so we're not seeing a ball here anymore. This is a much broader area of rotation, but still could be doing damage, still could be putting winds down to the surface. You can still see these gusts up 50, 60 miles per hour, even if you don't have a tornado ongoing. So let's go over to our reflectivity here, and you can see that's just not as tight as it once was, but there is still a hook ongoing right there, right at the place that you would want it to be in this thunderstorm. So this could easily tighten right back up. All we got to do is just ingest some dry air here or help to get this rotating once again, and we could see this produce another tornado. So on the west side of Ponce de Leon now, moving toward Bounds Crossing up into the western side of Holmes County here, back over toward Saragato, I think that's how you say that, not quite sure, Hickory Hill, and then Baker Settlement. Again, all of those locations. We'll go ahead and just populate this. I'm going to get out of the way here so you can see the timeline. Yeah, 10:55 Bounds Crossing, Hickory Hill, 10:56 Errant Settlement at 11, Prosperity also at 11, Hudson coming up to 11:02, and then Hobbs Crossroads at 11:10. So that gives you an idea of when this thunderstorm, where the rotation, or just ahead of where the rotation is happening, is going to be approaching. So if you're in any of those locations, should be seeking shelter, should be monitoring this storm. You can do that on the Storm Track 13 app, or you can just stay right here. You can keep it tuned right to us as we're going to continue to update you on this thunderstorm as a dangerous thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, and did obviously produce a tornado about 15 to 20 minutes ago. We're going to go back into our base velocities here. I'm going to clear all of this out so we can get back to it and zoom in. Looks like the rotation, again, right over Ponce de Leon at this moment in time, getting ready to work up toward Bayou Crossing. Looks like it's crossing Main Street. This has kind of moved a little bit further off to the east, so we may see this warning be dropped or expire here relatively quickly, and then we may see a new warning populate thanks to that, with this rotation starting to slide out of the warning. So again, this is going to be tracking basically right along the warning line at this point in time if it does continue to move in the same direction. So that would be right over downtown Ponce de Leon, East Main Street, where this rotation is going. Right now, the strongest area of rotation is on Main Street itself. Again, broader area of rotation. I doubt this is producing a tornado at this point in time, but if there is one, it's probably somewhere in that location. Already crossed over I-10, and you can see Baker Morning Loop. This rotation has slid off to your east as well. So those areas we were talking about earlier have now been cleared, and they have now transitioned to a new tornado warning in this area of rotation that I just highlighted here, which means yes, this has moved out of the confirmed tornado warning. We've got a new tornado warning that has populated. So new tornado warning here. I'll see if I can select just that tornado warning. So I think the new tornado warning going until 11 a.m. Central Daylight Time as well. I could be wrong on that. That could be the old tornado warning. Not sure which one I populated. Let's see if there's any difference. Yeah, okay, so just the tornado warning also going until 11 a.m. So no longer the confirmed, but a new tornado warning for Bayou Crossing, Bounds Crossing, Ponce de Leon, and that area of rotation. Again, right where I just clicked, that is where the strongest area of rotation is. Not quite sure why they didn't tilt that further off to the east, because once again this looks like it's going to slide right out of the warning area. But working toward Ponce de Leon at the moment, maybe this will take more of a northerly track if that's the case. But looking across here, I'm trying to get this out of your way. Ponce de Leon, North State Highway 81, area of rotation right there off to the south of Ponce. We'll move across East Main Street here, should run right up Old Highway 90 and then back up toward Bayou Crossing. If this takes more of a northerly track, or what we refer to a deviant track, then it would be those roads that I was talking about earlier, which would be Red Road as well as Oak Grove Church Road, and then obviously Old Mill Road as well. All want to be seeking shelter. That's the lowest level of your home, most interior room, and you want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Take with you your cell phone. You can watch us live on that. If you don't have the Storm Track 13 app, you can scan that QR code in the top left of the screen there. It'll take you right to the Google Play Store or App Store to get that on your phone so that you can watch us from there. Or you can just keep it tuned right here. Just turn the TV up loud. We're going to stay with you. We got an area of rotation. I'm going to go over to our CC here, see if we got a dropout. Looks like there is another dropout there, so this potentially could be another confirmed tornado moving over Ponce de Leon. This might still be the debris from the last tornado, but again, that looks like a correlation dropout, and this is a debris detector. So what we're seeing here in this circle, and I'll circle it for you here so you can see what I'm talking about as well. So this is where we're seeing the rotation. This is where we're seeing, well, and then now we've got a new update, so I've got to circle a new one. So as we'll go back over here, let me pull this back up and see if I can't get that, and of course it's not going to work for me. So there we go. We've got an area of rotation here. I don't know, that doesn't look as defined as it did before, but that's where we're seeing the debris being picked up. This is where we have the broad area of rotation. So that is a dead bullseye to say there's a potential tornado happening right there, because not only is the radar highlighting rotation, but it's also highlighting in the exact same area debris lofted. So it's usually a good indication that a tornado is happening. It could just be that same updraft carrying the debris from the tornado that was happening earlier. That is that possibility. But again, that's where that rotation is. That's where that dropout is. So Meredith Lane, again, this has moved out of the tornado warning once again. So this is now moving off to the east. This is actually working back closer toward, or running in between Old Highway 90 and I-10. This is right on the periphery of that tornado warning. This is just off to the east of Old Highway, just on the south, right on the edge of the tornado warning, just on the east side of Ponce de Leon. Potential tornado either was occurring or is happening or could imminently redevelop, as we do still have broad rotation there between County Road 181A and Meredith Lane. So if you're in those locations, should be seeking shelter. Broad rotation right here in the center of the screen. We're going to go over to our storm velocities, and you can see that as well. So right where that rotation is showing up, I'll go over to our correlation coefficient, and you can still see a dropout here where debris is being picked up. So where you're seeing the yellows, really what you would want to see is this type, but this is probably just false returns from being so close to the radar. Where the rotation is happening, that's where the concern is. So going back over to our reflectivity, and there you go, confirmed tornado warning now for this tornado just on the east side of Ponce de Leon. This does now include Caryville, as well as Hathaway Mill, Brittany, as well as Bayou Crossing. So if you're in that tornado warning that I was talking about just a few moments ago, this is now moved to the east of it once again. So basically the two tornado warnings that are out there in Walton County, the one on the west side of Walton County, there is no tornado in that warning. warning. And the same thing for our warning that is just on the east side that continues into Ponce de Leon. There's no tornado in that warning either. Where the tornado is happening is right here on the east side of Ponce de Leon. We're going to clear all of this out of here for you so you can see it, and we'll get in here close to it, zooming back in. So right here where we've got this hook on this thunderstorm, that is the potential for a tornado, a confirmed tornado, meaning the tornado has either been spotted or the radar is confirming based on our correlation dropout, which is exactly what we were just looking at. So if you're in Hathaway Mill, Caryville should be seeking shelter as well. This is crossed I-10. This is going to track between I-10 and Old Highway 90. This should move toward Westville. RM Ward Road, if you're in those locations, if you're on Old Highway 90, you should be seeking shelter. Sassanet Lane as well as Cypress Street all should be seeking shelter as well. Pine Street in the Westville, and then going State Highway 10 over toward Garyville, as well as Waits Avenue. All of those locations, lowest level of your home, most interior. If you're in a trailer, you got to seek shelter somewhere else, and you need to get there now. Even weak tornadoes disintegrate trailers. It doesn't matter what you've done to it. If there's any air that is ability to get underneath that trailer, it will lift it and it will rip it apart. Even weak tornadoes, EF0s, destroy trailers, which is why you just don't want to be in a trailer or in a manufactured home on the ground, anything that is elevated at this point in time, because a tornado will just disintegrate that. So again, Westville going back up to Hathaway Mill, Caryville, and then going up toward Gritney. If you're in any of those locations, seek shelter. Right now, there's a confirmed tornado happening just off to the north and east of Ponce de Leon. I'm going to go back over here and we'll go back into our analysis so you can get a better idea of what's going on. See if we can't get our base velocities to work for me here, and then go up. Again, confirmed tornado. This tornado warning now does go until 11:30 Central Daylight Time. And that includes Westville and Caryville. Again, seeing broader rotation here, that's good news. So I was going back into the analysis here, not seeing a tornado, not seeing something that I would say is a confirmed tornado at the moment. So let's go over to our correlation coefficient, and we'll see if we can't see where the debris is still being dropped out. May have put a confirmed on this for when it was right around Ponce, as that did look like a confirmed. Not seeing a dropout where the debris is at, or not seeing a dropout where the rotation is at this point, and that's a much broader area of rotation. So showing this right here. So this is the winds going into the storm, and then the winds coming out of the storm itself. So right through here is where we have the rotation. There's really no defined area at this point in time to say, yeah, a tornado is happening or a tornado is happening on the ground. So anywhere in that broad area of rotation, you may have a funnel still trying to come down or come down to the ground. And as we've already seen about 2 times, this can very quickly tighten up very briefly, produce a tornado, and then lift very quickly as well. That's kind of the way the wind profiles are working today. We're kind of getting these things to just rapidly tighten up and then rapidly dissipate as well. It just depends on the situation and how these things are working together. So again, we really have 3 tornado warnings populated, but there's really only one area that we're watching from these tornado warnings that has popped all 3 of them. So again, if you're now in Ponce de Leon, the storm has passed you. That area of rotation is now off to your north and east. If you're back toward Douglas Crossroads, Argyle, Defuniak Springs, these storms are now past you. Uchiana, it has passed you. This is up now moving into Bayou Crossing. This will be working toward Caryville and Hathaway Mill. It'll be working somewhere between Caryville and Hathaway Mill to the south of Gritney and to the east of Bounds Crossing. That's where that confirmed tornado warning is ongoing. Tornado potentially happening just off to the west of RM Ward Road and moving toward Westville. So zooming in here again, South Cypress Street, Sassanet Lane, Pine Street in Westville, downtown Westville, that whole area, if you're in Westville, got to be in your shelter right now. Lowest level of your home, most interior room, as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Blankets, pillows, shoes, all things that you want to take with with that safe place, and get there now as this rotation is moving toward you and over you here very, very quickly. We're already looking at a snapshot in the past. So as I'm talking about the radar, it's updated every 5 minutes, and that's when we get a real look at what's ongoing. But this is already moving up toward Westville. This is probably now toward Westville and Caryville. We're going to go over our shear rate here, populate that, and so you can see what we're talking about, where this potential tornado could be, right where you're seeing the red. So notice earlier we had the yellows showing up on the radar, and that was showing extreme rotation. Now all we're seeing is strong rotation. So there's still potential for a tornado here just off to the west of RM Road, to the south and west of Westville. If this continues to move more on that easterly track, then this will be closer to Caryville as opposed to moving up toward Westville. So this may end up just on the north side of I-10 there, and then tracking toward Caryville as well. So zooming out, and you can see these areas of rotation. This tornado warning, there is not a tornado in that warning. We're only watching this area of rotation. So if you're under that warning or you're in the warning in the red there, those areas are not actually included ahead of this tornado. So those both have seen the storm move out. You are okay in those locations. If you're in Caryville, you got to be seeking shelter, because it's that little dot of red that we are watching ever so closely and could potentially be a tornado at this point in time. Not as strong as it once was, but seems to be trying to tighten back up as we're getting a little more of a hook to show up there. Thunderstorm doesn't look as organized, but as we've seen already, you got a nice big arc here, and that's good for inflow to come in. That's where our wind profiles are certainly highlighting and heightening these areas of rotation. A couple of weaker storms further off to the south, and then watching some showers and storms try to populate further to the south of that. We'll have to keep a close eye on these thunderstorms as they come in, and then that one to the south of the Forgotten Coastline as well. There is a tornado watch that goes until 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time across the Central Panhandle here. It goes into southeastern portions of Alabama, as well as southwestern portions of Georgia as well. So zooming back in here on our tornado warning, where we do have a tornado warning, it is included for Holmes County, northwestern portions of Washington County, Caryville and Bonifay both included in that. Where is the area of rotation? It's right there to the south and west of Caryville. Again, seeing a little hook here, but not looking as intimidating as it once was. We'll go over to our base velocities and show you, yeah, broadening out. So that's excellent news. Starting to see this broadening out. That's good news to say that maybe we're potentially seeing this finally start to try to fade away as opposed to regenerating a new storm. There does appear to be something else trying to tighten back up there across Hathaway Mill, but at this moment in time I would not say that there's a tornado on the ground based on this velocities that we have. It just doesn't look significant enough to be producing a tornado at the moment, but again, it could tighten back up. We've already seen that happen a couple of times here. As you can see right there around Westville, there is still a hook. It's not as organized coming down. You can see how this has kind of gotten a little more jagged. It's not as smooth. And the base of this thunderstorm, really the parent of this thunderstorm, is right there. So if I was willing to bet and we were going to see new rotation develop, I would say we're probably going to lose this one and we may gain one right here, as this is a stronger thunderstorm at this point in time. So it's possible that somewhere down the road up here we may see another area of rotation developing out of that thunderstorm, because that's what looks a little more concerning to me, is where we're trying to get new rotation to develop. This appears to be that old rotation. It looks like it has broadened out. I don't think that there's a tornado happening anymore at this point, but looking around there, there's still broad rotation over RM Ward, as well as just off to the south and west of Westville. So again, looking at this, it doesn't look like there's a tornado happening. If there is, it's somewhere right there between Westville and Caryville, right where you're seeing that couplet showing up right there. So again, in this location, potential for a tornado to be happening right where that red dot is highlighting. And then zooming back out, you can see where the new area of rotation is starting to develop. So as I was just mentioning, that looks a little more concerning to me as a potential area of new development. So if you're between Gritney and Hathaway Mill here, watching this, trying to tighten up, it looks like it's tightening up pretty quickly here. So between Gritney and Hathaway Mill, County Road 179, and then moving up, got to be getting in your shelter, because we got a new area of rotation starting to develop and tighten. You can see that right here between these two brighter areas. So this is wind away from the radar. That is wind toward the radar. The radar is off to our south. south now at this point in time. So we're getting that rotation like this. That is a tighter area of rotation than what we have further off to the south here, right there between Westville and Caryville. So two areas of rotation. This seems to be the old rotation, and then a new parent rotation starting to develop out of that thunderstorm, as we were mentioning just a few minutes ago. So it does appear that this one's trying to get cut off, and it does appear that we're trying to see a new one develop there. So again, two areas of rotation, two potential points where we could see a new tornado develop. At the moment, I don't think there's a tornado happening at this very moment, but certainly two spots that could produce a tornado here very, very quickly. So Caryville, Hathaway Mill, and then back up the road a little bit further toward Gritney. All of those locations, seek shelter, lowest level of your home, most interior room. If you're out ahead of this, say you're up toward Hoover Mill, or you're up toward Bethlehem, or you're up towards Smith Crossroads, Pittman, High Note, New Hope, any of these areas, Baker Store, and you're in a trailer, you're in a manufactured home that is lifted off of the ground, go somewhere else. Seek shelter in a safe location. Trailers get destroyed by even weak tornadoes. If you're in those spots and you're in a trailer, please go find shelter somewhere else right now. You have time, as these areas of rotation are further off to your south and west. So again, it's right there between Gritney, Hathaway Mill. I think that's Sarah Gordo. I think that's how you say that. Between Westville and Caryville, the two areas of rotation, two potential spots where a tornado could develop. Thankfully, not seeing this tightening up any more than it already was. So two locations where we could be talking about rotation, but I'm not seeing anything there that is overly impressive. Again, between Hathaway Mill and Gritney, that would be what I would say is the most impressive at this point in time, right there. And then again, between Westville and Caryville. But that seems to be like it's getting dropped or left behind. And then we see our new rotation here trying to tighten up. But again, going over to the base velocities, not looking super impressive. We'll go over to our correlation coefficient. Sometimes the radar velocities don't highlight what's going on. So again, not seeing really anything here as far as where the rotations are happening. We'll go over to our shear rate and circle where the rotations are happening, and then I'll highlight where we're seeing those dropouts, and they don't line up anymore. So to me, that's saying there's not a tornado on the ground. So you can see where the rotation is and no dropouts. So I don't think there's a tornado happening at this moment in time, but two spots where rotation certainly could develop a new tornado. I would think that this one would be the one that would be more concerning and potentially with that new development, only based off of its location in this thunderstorm. But the thunderstorm looking less and less organized as we continue forward. So that is good news. There's still a decent thunderstorm here. So you can see that hook right there, and then might be just be getting cut off by this old rotation that's down there. So this may be saving that from developing a new hook, but we may get that here shortly. And then potentially, you can see this trying to arc out once again as well. So maybe potentially trying to redevelop the hook down there as well. So two locations that could see a tornado develop where we were just highlighting. Again, I would say through here and through here would be the two locations that I would be most concerned about where a tornado could develop or potentially is developing. Based on where we have the rotation happening, I would say the further north area is definitely where we're potentially seeing that. So right here around Gritney would be the area that was potentially seeing that. But again, right over Caryville on the other side, there's two locations. So both of those spots, both are producing rotation that could potentially produce a tornado here very quickly. They could tighten up very quickly. Both of these locations at this moment in time, I don't think are producing a tornado, but you could get one there very, very quickly, as these things have a tendency to tighten up very, very quickly. So zooming in here on the roads ahead of where you do see that rotation, County Road 177A, Fowling Well Road as well. All of those locations seeking shelter, lowest level of your home. Sherwood Drive, Moynier Lane, Beale Packing Road as well. Old Liberty School Road, and then working down toward Caney Branch Road, Sandy Lane. The rotation's just off to your west. If you're in Hathaway Mill, you're kind of wedged between those two areas of rotation. If you're in Gritney, that area of rotation is right over the top of you. Sellers Road, that rotation is over the top of you. This is probably already passed and gone up to the north and east. Again, this will update in about 5 minutes from now, or probably a little bit less. You can see broad area of rotation here, but trying to tighten up. So again, this is winds toward the radar, which is off to our south. This is winds winds away from the radar, again, where we're looking at this location off to the south. So what does that mean? Rotation happening right there. That's where imminent development of a tornado potentially could be happening, highlighted by our rotation detector. You can see the strong rotation highlighted right in the red. So where that couplet is happening, where we're seeing that rotation, that's where the potential for a tornado to develop is certainly ongoing. A little further off to the south around Caryville, that rotation continues to drop. So that's good news there as well. Looks like we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. I don't know if May, are you mic'd up?
Yeah.
You want to walk us through this severe thunderstorm warning and then the tornado warning that is ongoing, so I can get a little break here and grab some water.
Yeah, I'll do the right over here. So, we are looking at our velocity right now. Now there is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning, and I believe that is going to be for Jackson and Holmes County. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Now, as we were mentioning, you can take the graphics full if you'd like. Taking a look at our...
Hey, May, I'm going to just continue the hand tracker.
Okay,
and then
sounds good.
Now you're good.
Okay,
Go.
thank you. So taking a look at this right here, once again, we are seeing a weak rotation with our velocity right here. Now, with our reflectivity, once again, we are seeing that hook that Ross was mentioning just a few minutes ago. But once again, we're really just seeing that severe thunderstorm warning going in for Jackson and Holmes County. Now, this is going to continue just as this thunderstorm really starts to move through, and it's really this big area right here. So once again, just make sure you have your shelter in place as tornadoes are being popped up from the severe thunderstorm as we go into the next really few minutes or so. Just make sure you have a shelter in place no matter where you are, especially as he was mentioning, any kind of mobile homes or trailers. Just make sure you have areas where you are able to just be in place. So once again, Jackson and Holmes County, you are going to be under a severe thunderstorm warning, and this is ongoing as of right now. Now, we have seen a few tornadoes pop up within the last hour from the severe thunderstorm, so make sure you are just having, once again, your shelters in place if you are within these regions. So if you are New Hope, Barker Store, Bethlehem, Smith Crossroads, make sure you are just being cautious and just once again getting in place and just downloading that Storm Track 13 app to make sure you are staying updated, as you can just have that on your phone rather than in the living room on your TV. So once again, just make sure you are being cautious of this as we go into the next really 30 minutes or so. We are going to be still seeing a tornado warning for Holmes and Washington counties, and this is going to continue until 11:30. So once again, it's just a good idea right now to make sure you are staying cautious out there, but taking a look at our correlation coefficient and what we're really seeing out here, we are not seeing, let me see. So we can see some kind of rotation here, and we can take a look at our shear rate. We can see right here, this is where a strong rotation is right now. Now, as we look at our base velocity with this, we can kind of see where this is going to be rotating right here. Once again, this is a very broad area of rotation. So taking a look at our shear rate, we can see it's showing more of a strong rotation right here. And as it may be strong, we're taking, once we look at our velocity, we're just really not seeing a really tight couplet here. But that's good news, as we don't want a tight couplet because that means a strong tornado out there. But as of right now, once again, we are going to be seeing a tornado warning for Holmes County. Walton County, you are not going to be seeing that tornado warning anymore, but we are still seeing a severe thunderstorm warning continue for Washington or for Jackson and Holmes County. So Jackson and Holmes, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning for Holmes, Florida. So once again, make sure you just have your shelters in place as we go into the next 30 minutes or so. This is going to expire around 11:30 as of right now, but we are seeing right here, we can see quite a bit of rotation with our shear right here. But once again, taking a look at our base velocity right here, the couplet, you can see and it updates, as Ross was mentioning, every 5 minutes. So taking a look at our velocity right now, we can see a couplet right here. This just means we're seeing rotation towards and away from the radar. And this is where a tornado could possibly really pop up. Taking a look at our reflectivity, oh yeah, we can see kind of where this hook is right here. And so this is really where a tornado could really spawn up and spin out right here. So we'll take a look at our correlation coefficient, which is a debris detector out there. And let's see. Oh yeah, we can kind of see this. I'd say it's tightening up just a bit out here. And circle it right here. So
yeah, it looks like a new tornado has started to develop there. So I would say, yeah, that potentially could be a new tornado. Might even be confirmed at this point in time. If you want to go over to your correlation coefficient.
Yeah, let's see. Oh,
yeah, starting to see a drop out. So potentially a new confirmed on the ground there to the south and west of Fallingwell Road. And then moving off to the north and east, I think that's toward Bethlehem. So if you will, May, if you'll time out, if you'll find a timing location of how fast these are moving off to the north and east, and then create a timeline for that as well. You can do that on the Lynx 2 computer there for me. Throw up hand tracker, just hit connect, and then Becca can bring me back up on air. Just populate me in. I'll just throw me on up there. So as we've got, as May was saying here, it looks like a new tornado has developed to the south and west of Bethlehem, to the north and east of Brittany, where we were talking about that rotation developing and moving about 15 to 20 minutes ago. Thought that we might see a new area of rotation, certainly have gotten that now. That looks significant enough that I would say a tornado is imminently developing or has developed. Tornado on the ground for sure. Confirmed tornado now working over County Road 177A. This is a new tornado, confirmed tornado. I'm confirming it right now. I don't even got to look at the CC. This is moving toward Fallingwell Road and Will Lee Road as well. Bethlehem County Road 160, got to be seeking shelter. Lowest level of your home, Foxworthy Road, as well as Cane Mill Road and Andrews Road. You're running out of time. If you live in those areas, you got to be seeking shelter now. You've got about less than 5 minutes before this tornado is going to work over the top of you. Confirmed tornado moving toward Bethlehem as we speak. I'm going back over to our correlation coefficient to show you exactly where that is happening. Confirmed tornado right there over County Road 177A. This is in Holmes County. That tornado warning does go until 11:30, so that's 20 minutes for now, but who cares, because you got a tornado on the ground. Doesn't matter how long that warning's going. Tornado on the ground right over County Road 177A, happening right now, moving toward Fallingwell Road. If you're in those locations, you got to be in your shelter. So if you're in Fallingwell Road, in your shelter now. This is off to your north and east on Sherwood Drive. If you're near Andrews Road, seeking shelter. Lowest level of your home, most interior rooms, as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in Bethlehem and you are in a trailer home or a manufactured home that is lifted off of the ground, seek shelter somewhere else. Got to find shelter somewhere else in a trailer. These tornadoes will disintegrate them very, very quickly. Even weak tornadoes destroy trailers. So Fallingwell Road up toward Bethlehem, Pine Straw Alley, County Road 160, Will Lee Road. Confirmed tornado happening right now over County Road 177A. This is now crossing Fowling Road. So you can see this has tightened once again and has broadened out. So this is a relatively strong tornado at this point in time. Not seeing the blues like we did earlier, but definitely a tornado happening right where you see that big dropout tornado on the ground just on the west side of Fallingwell Road. This will be moving on the west side of Andrews Road, or right over the top of Andrews Road. Foxworthy Road and Cane Mill Road, this is moving toward you. Bethlehem, if you're in any of those locations, seeking shelter now. If you're in Bethlehem Church Road, seeking shelter. If you are on Bethlehem Church Road, I don't know what that is. I can't read it. But Cane Mill Road, you got to be seeking shelter. I think that's Avenue Dock Church Road, maybe, I don't know, hard to see, but any of those locations seeking shelter, if you're near those locations seeking shelter, that is a tornado on the ground. It is happening right now as we speak. A tornado is happening just to the south of Bethlehem. This will be crossing on the north side of Hoover Mill. If you're going further down Ards Crossroads, you got to be seeking shelter. High Note, Edistote, Nome, all of those locations would be seeking shelter as this is moving toward your location.